So the Washington Commanders had a good season. They had the rookie Jayden Daniels come in and just be the leader for this Washington Commanders team, and they exceeded everybody's expectations. They exceeded my expectations. I thought they were an 8-9 win team. Of course, they got exposed at the end when they played us, but this was a good win. This is a good win for the Washington Commanders franchise. Now you have to really extend that throughout the whole season. Throughout the couple of years. But this is a good season. But hats goes off to Kliff Kingsbury. Kliff Kingsbury is the MVP of this team. This man put Washington in a position to win. Going forward on fourth down almost like 90% of the time, and having 90% was phenomenal. Having the right play calls, Jayden Daniels, prepping him to be, executing all this. A lot of people hyped up Jayden Daniels, and I'm rooting for the guy. I think he's a great player, phenomenal player in this league. But he's Brock Purdy 2.0. He's doing well in the system. I say that there's one quarterback on the Washington Commanders team that had 131 quarterback rating. Marcus Mariota, right? Marcus Mariota in this Kliff Kingsbury offense was 34 for 44, 364, had 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, and only got sacked 3 times. Whoever you put in this offense was going to be successful, and that's why you have to get a backup like Marcus Mariota. The system breeds execution. It's a lot of the reasons why Terry McLaurin was open but then didn't get a look, because the offense is predicated. Kliff Kingsbury is telling Kliff Kingsbury saying, "Hey, look this way, throw to this guy." Simple reads for Jayden Daniels. We don't want you to think too much. We want you to execute in the framework of our offense. If you execute in the framework of our offense, you're going to do well. You're going to be successful. But if you don't execute in the framework of our offense, then you're not going to be successful. Mariota had the elusive improvisation. When the Washington played the Cowboys the first game, they lost, and Jayden Daniels did not look good. The second time they played them, Jayden Daniels sat down, and then Marcus Mariota beat the Cowboys. So the placebo in the offense is really the quarterback, right? As long as you can execute. And execution, like Brock Purdy, right? If you execute in Kyle Shanahan's offense, then you're successful. Where the offense lacks is running the ball. Your quarterback should not be your leading rusher. You don't want Jayden Daniels to take hits like that. You want Jayden Daniels to last. So year one, you protect the guy, right? Year 2, it's more or less about like developing him as a quarterback. Developing as a quarterback is going to be difficult in this offense because the success that Jayden gets is in execution of the offense, like Brock Purdy. The success that Brock Purdy got was execution in the offense. Brian Robinson needs more carries. Your quarterback has almost more carries than him. Brian Robinson's a great back. He was the one bright spot a couple of years ago, and I think that with Jayden in this offense, he really was shunned. You got to think in 2000, his rookie season, 205 carries, he had almost 800 yards. 178, 2023, 187, and he's had over 700 yards, but he hasn't been a focal point at all in offense. Josh Harris, who also owns the Philadelphia 76ers, did bring in some guys. They brought in some guys, some players and whatnot, like Luvo, Wagner. It's going to be interesting to see who they keep back next year to kind of maintain this. Washington only had, one win against a winning team this year. When I look at year 2, Washington only had one win against a winning team this year. And I'm sorry, when at the time of the winning team this year. And let me see. Yeah, and that was against the Eagles. I'm sorry, Atlanta was, I think it was even. With the Eagles against our backup quarterback when and they won by one. They won by 3 points when we dropped the pass. They won with how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 games under 5 points or less. 6 points, 5 points or less. Sorry, 6 points or less. So this team who found ways to win, right? And found ways to win relied heavily on Kliff Kingsbury, who was the architect of this offense. The Washington Commanders should try to retain Kliff Kingsbury, who did an amazing job. People idolize Jayden Daniels. He's a great, I think he's a great rookie, right? But for Washington to sustain this, develop Jayden Daniels outside the scheme of just the offense. Develop him as a quarterback who can operate when the offense breaks down. And if you only prepare him and develop him within the scheme of the offense, no matter what offense you put him in, he's going to fail if it's not the same. Guys like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Jalen Hurts this year, Cam Newton, who did it. When you can work well and be Patrick Mahomes, when you can improvise outside the scheme of the offense, when the opposing defensive coordinator stops your offense, how well are you and how experienced and prepared are you to be a quarterback, right? So these are the things that you want to see in year two. I believe I spoke with the Cowboys fan, and they said, hey, look, they believe Kliff Kingsbury is coming back, which would be good for Washington. How do you improve from year one to year two? You look at Brock Purdy; they have much success with Brock Purdy. Much success with Brock Purdy in year two. But once again, just like Kliff Kingsbury in Arizona, the NFL is about trends. So how do you beat the trend next year? Right? You find ways to win different than you won last year. Right? So teams are going to figure out they have a whole season to plan for you. You got to be better. So Kliff Kingsbury, hats off to him, the MVP of Commanders offense, Commanders team. He put the team in position to win. Hats off to Dan Quinn for allowing Kliff Kingsbury to make those decisions and trusting in him. Hats off to Kliff Kingsbury. I'm surprised he hasn't got a coaching job for now.